Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Sage Canaday before the 2014 Speedgoat 50k. Sage, you're the defending champ. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be back. Don't take it for granted.
You won last year. You set a course record. Was it 508?
Yep, 508.
How you feeling in comparison this year?
I feel pretty good. Knock on wood. There's a tree back there. I mean, I don't have any niggles or overuse injury type of pain. I think my fitness is pretty similar probably to last year. I've had a similar schedule.
Yeah.
I actually ran a little faster at Mount Washington this year. It wasn't the race I wanted, but so I think my climbing's there, and I've done some altitude stuff in the high country a little bit in Colorado, so I feel pretty good.
Gotcha. I mean, after winning Tarawera, you took third at Sonoma, Transvolcania, and Mount Washington. Like, none of those are wins, but you were on the podium at these three great races. So how do you feel? Like, I know you want to win whatever you're in, but how do you feel about that set of performances?
It was okay. I mean, I am a very competitive guy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, a lot of these races that I think I could win, I'm gonna try to go for the win. And so I don't take podium for granted though at all. Like, especially at Transvolcania, like, I just felt lucky that I was able to hold it together considering how bad I felt 20 miles into the race. But you know, I want to try to take a jump up and take that next step in fitness and show that I've actually improved, because I don't know, I feel almost like this year's subpar compared to last year, even though I ran a little faster at Sonoma. So I've definitely been over racing, I'd say, and definitely it's hard to mix up all these different distances and different course profiles and excel in them, because basically it's like, okay, 4 weeks after Lake Sonoma, I have Transvolcania. Lake Sonoma, Transvolcania, a little bit different, you know?
And this, totally different. And then you went to Mount Washington.
Yeah, I did Costa Rica in between, actually. North Face Costa Rica, tune-up 50K.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you're bouncing around every, 4 weeks doing an ultra, and it changed, the profile means everything to me, so it's hard to, like, rest the week after a race. I usually take a down week, and then I have 2 weeks to really train hard, and then I have to taper. So it's not ideal, and I know that. But
I mean, how do you think you might work around it? Might you make some races a little lower effort so you can taper and recover less, or is it just not in your
I don't. If I'm going to show up at a race, I'm going to bring my A game.
Gotcha.
Like, every race I do is pretty much, I want to, I showed up to race. But I think in the future, like, to be sustainable in the sport, which I want to be, to not burn myself out, to not risk an overuse injury, to not, jack up my endocrine system, I'm going to have to kind of start cutting back, picking and choosing my battles. And the same thing goes with how competitive these races are getting now. So, like, you can't just show up. I think, like, Max King said this when I interviewed him for my film. He's like, you can't just show up every weekend and expect to win now. Like, you got to taper, you got to prepare specifically for the course, you got to get out on the course maybe a month or two beforehand and really do a long build-up to reach that 100% level, to reach your potential. So I think I'll have to pick and choose my battles.
It was interesting to bring Max as an example, because you're sort of in the same boat as he is in a given year he's racing a steeplechase, a road marathon, short trail race, and a long trail race, and you're not doing the steeplechase, but sort of have almost that as big a variety. Is there going to be some point where you just have to say, this year I'm concentrating on this area or that area? I mean, how do you balance it?
I mean, I just like to mix it up because it's fun, it's a good variety, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, what type of course maybe in the mountain ultra running scene suits me best. Like, I don't view myself as a mountain runner really yet. Just because I've only been in Colorado for 2 years, and I come from the road background, and I come from more of a smooth trail running background, like the Pacific Northwest trails and that type of deal. So I don't know if I've never done a fast 50K. Chuckanut was probably the fastest 50K course I've ever done. I haven't done the Way Too Cool. I haven't done, like, JFK 50 mile. Like, I'd like to do those. I'm tempted to jump on the track and do a fast 50. Like,
I can see you throwing out the trying to make the World 100K team.
Yeah, but then the mountain running is glamorous. You get you go to Europe, it's the sky running scene. You got the Alps, the Dolomites. You got you got the Rockies and Wasatch. So it's fun to mix it up, but I'll need to specialize. And so, like, this fall I'm thinking about jumping back into marathon, like Chicago Marathon, try to get my trials qualifier. But, like, I don't know if I could mix it up after doing all this steep uphill stuff with the flat road running, because the mechanics are just so different, and the way you develop your musculature and even your metabolism is it's totally different. So
totally, and it's a good point with the musculature. In the very top of your game, you're developing just weight where you don't need it and not developing where you do, like, the muscle. So you're almost not only not benefiting yourself, in some ways you hinder your performance on the other.
Exactly. Like for this race, I mean, you look at like your VO2 max, you look at your aerobic engine, you got your heart and lungs, and like in a lot of ultras, a lot of the really fast track guys, like Max King is way faster than me, or you know, sub 14-minute 5K guys who are in this race. You know, they have the VO2 max, maybe, you know, Killian VO2 max like 90. They could go up the hill and you're not developing lactic acid. Like that's not a limiting factor. What happens is the second system gets strained for me, and this happened at Lake Sonoma, was your skeletal muscular system breaks down. So all the pounding, all the ups and downs, my hips will blow out, you know, your muscle fibers aren't used to power hiking. So like on a course like this, like I really struggle power hiking because it's not specific to what I'm used to on running, you know, faster than 7-minute mile clip on a smooth trail. And then you got the whole metabolism issue with burning carbs versus burning fat, and being able to take in nutrition on the run and keeping that all balanced.
What's your take on that, like in terms of this, when you're ultra racing, what are you aiming to do in terms of fueling and energy utilization? I'm still
a carb guy mainly, especially for a high altitude race. I think I burn it real hot at altitude. I learned that at Pikes Peak when I totally bonked and almost fell over walking up the final mile. So I took a ton of V fuel. I'll be all gels, and then I'll even take a swig of Coke sometimes. And I never drink soda pop or Coke at any other time, maybe airplane flights, but during a race, I'll pull that out. My parents might have the potato chips if I'm getting desperate, need the salt. And then just electrolyte drink, fizz, and just water mainly. But, you know, I don't do like a low-carb diet like a lot of guys, you know, they get into the real fat burning. But I think part of that's being a vegetarian. It's hard to eat so much protein and fat when you're not eating meat. So, and I love beer. I love beer. I'm not going to give up my beer. So I'm always going to be pretty high carb. And I think I do strategic carb depletion, though. So, like, before some long runs, I'll kind of not eat pasta the night before and not eat breakfast, maybe eat a spoonful of almond butter, go out and just run with no gels.
Gotcha.
And kind of just get in that fat burning zone. But I'm not going to give up beer.
No. Gotcha. It's sort of the time of year when the next season of shoes come on the market. July 1st for Hoka and like August for other companies. Are you running anything new for this race, or?
I'll be running, well, the new shoes coming out this month for Hoka are the Waka and the Clifton. So I'm wearing the Waka in the race. I'll wear it. Shoe plug. But those are the new shoes from Hoka hitting the market this week pretty much for all the stores. And I've been racing in the Waka all year. Tarawera, Lake Sonoma, Transvolcania.
Yeah,
it's my go-to shoe for the road marathon. I'd probably wear the Clifton. It's a little bit lighter, but
yeah, that's still pretty light. Is it like
8.9 ounces? Yeah, 2mm offset. So it's a good shoe.
Definitely a change in the direction Hoka has.
Yeah, they've got a big variety.
Have you seen the track spikes yet?
I haven't. I got to meet with Leo at the sales meeting. That he didn't have the spikes yet, but he's been racing in them. Yeah.
So the competition is evolving, as we've seen for this race. Who do you think you're going to be your biggest competition out there?
I mean, so many guys pulled out now. I mean, definitely, it could be anyone, really. Like, you never know. Like, Montana brings in a strong contingent of guys. There's that guy you just interviewed from Air Force Academy.
Yeah, Jen.
But I probably didn't race him in college because I'm a little bit older. Or he was just probably too far ahead of me.
Yeah.
Sub 14-minute 5K runner. You got to respect that. I was like a 14:29 guy, so he'd blow my doors off.
And he's got a build that's going to suit. Well, I mean, he's just a tiny guy. I mean, not height-wise, but lightweight for a climb like this.
Yeah, he's probably got a high VO2 max.
But his run a steeplechase, so it's not like he's got strength.
Yeah.
So
for sure. No, yeah, I think he'll be up there. I was looking forward to racing Tony and Vargo again, but I guess they're out.
You got Ricky Gates.
Ricky, for sure, Ricky. Yeah, actually, because he former champion.
Yeah.
Well, basically, so.
Yeah.
He's run fast on this course, and I know he could climb hard based on his maroon bell splits, 4-pass loop. So he'll be gunning up there for sure.
Nice. Well, best of luck out there.
Oh, thank you.
And have fun.
I'll need it.